The world has a pulse. It has veins that carry life, ideas, treasure. For thousands of years, these veins were known as the Silk Road. Not a single road, a network, a web of paths across continents. It connected China, Rome, a global highway pulsing with people and goods. History was traded, bartered, born. The story of the Silk Road is often told through its famous cities: Samarkand, with its blue-domed mosques; Bukhara, the center of learning. We imagine the great markets of Kashgar, but these famous landmarks are only part of the tale. The true magic of the Silk Road lies in its secrets. It lies in places forgotten by time, buried by sand, or simply overlooked by history. Beyond the major routes, a different story unfolds. Hidden wonders and lost worlds. Places that do not appear on most maps, whispered about in local legends, found by chance by a wandering shepherd or by a determined archaeologist. In the heart of the Karakum Desert, in modern-day Turkmenistan, lies a ghost. It is the ghost of a city that was once known as the Queen of the World. This city was Merv. For centuries, it was one of the most magnificent urban centers on Earth. It was larger than Damascus. It was more populous than Baghdad. It was a beacon of Islamic scholarship and science. Merv was a vital oasis on the Silk Road. But this golden age was not to last. In the year 1221, a shadow fell over Merv. The armies of the Mongol Empire, led by Tolui, the son of Genghis Khan, arrived at its gates. What followed was an act of annihilation so complete that it has echoed through history. The silence of Merv is deceptive. For those who know how to listen, the ruins still speak. Archaeologists digging in the sand have unearthed clues that bring the lost city back to life. They have found evidence of a surprisingly diverse and tolerant society. Beneath the ruins of Islamic mosques, they have found the foundations of a Nestorian Christian church. Nearby, they have uncovered a Buddhist stupa, its walls still bearing faint traces of painted murals. Local legends add another layer to Merv's story. One old Turkmen tale speaks of a hidden library buried deep beneath the main citadel, the Irk Kala. The story goes that when the Mongols approached, the city's scholars gathered the most precious books from all of Merv's libraries. They sealed them in a secret chamber to protect them from the invaders' fires. Deep in the Taklamakan Desert of western China, another secret was waiting. This desert's name is often said to mean, "You go in, but you don't come out." For centuries, local people had occasionally found bodies buried in the sand, but these were no ordinary bodies. The dry, salty soil had preserved them perfectly. Their skin was intact, their hair was still long, and their clothes were brightly colored. They were ancient mummies, but they looked nothing like the people who live in the region today. They had long noses, deep-set eyes, and hair that was reddish blonde or brown. They looked European. The discovery of these Tarim mummies sent shockwaves through the world of archaeology. The Tarim mummies are not just scientific curiosities, they are human beings. Their preserved faces allow us to connect with a distant past in a deeply personal way. Looking at the serene face of the beauty of Lulan, you can see the fine details of her eyelashes, the lines around her eyes. She was a woman who lived and breathed 4,000 years ago. She was buried wearing a felt hat with a feather in it, leather shoes. She was prepared for a journey into the afterlife, dressed in her best clothes. The textiles are particularly remarkable. The vibrant colors and complex patterns show a sophisticated knowledge of weaving and dyeing. This was not a primitive culture. These were skilled artisans who valued beauty and craftsmanship. At the edge of the Gobi Desert where the Taklamakan begins, lies another Silk Road wonder. This is the oasis town of Dunhuang. For centuries it was a vital gateway between China and the West. Pilgrims carved hundreds of sacred grottos into the cliffs outside the town. These are the Mogao Caves, also known as the Caves of the Thousand Buddhas. For 1,000 years, artists filled these caves with breathtaking murals and sculptures. Walking through them is like walking through a storybook of faith. But in the year 1900, one of these caves revealed a secret that was even more astounding. A Taoist monk named Wang Yuanlu, who had appointed himself as the cave's guardian, was clearing sand from a passageway. He noticed a crack in a wall mural. He broke through the wall and discovered a small hidden chamber behind it. The room was packed from floor to ceiling with manuscripts. There were tens of thousands of scrolls, documents, and paintings. One of the most remarkable treasures from the cave is the Diamond Sutra. It is a complete scroll of a sacred Buddhist text, and it is dated precisely to the 11th of May, 868 AD. This makes it the world's oldest dated printed book. There were texts written not just in Chinese but also in Tibetan, Sanskrit, Sogdian, and other languages of the Silk Road. It was a time capsule, A treasure trove of knowledge that opened a window onto a lost world with unprecedented clarity and detail. Sadly, the story of the cave's discovery is also a story of loss. Today, the treasures of the library cave are scattered across the world. It proves that the Silk Road was not just a conduit for silk and spices, it was a vibrant marketplace of the mind, a place where faiths and philosophies met, mingled, and created something new. The Silk Road is more than a historical curiosity. It is a powerful idea that continues to shape our world. Its secrets, from the ghost city of Merv to the faces of the Tarim mummies and the hidden library of Dunhuang, are not just footnotes to history. They are fundamental chapters in the story of human connection. They teach us that our world has always been interconnected. These hidden wonders challenge our simple narratives of the past. They show us a world that was more complex, more diverse, more surprising than we often imagine. Today, the spirit of the Silk Road is being reborn. New roads, railways, pipelines are being built along the ancient routes. This new Silk Road will carry oil data and consumer goods, not silk and spices. But the fundamental principle remains the same. Connection drives prosperity and change. Ultimately, the greatest wonder of the Silk Road is the road itself. It is the enduring idea that no civilization is an island. By exploring its forgotten corners and listening to its hidden stories, we do more than just learn about the past. We learn about ourselves. The Silk Road was the first great conversation in human history, a dialogue that lasted for centuries. And even now, its echoes can still be heard, whispering to us from across the ages, reminding us that we are all part of one long unfolding story.